80% of people abandon their goals within the first few months, not because they are lazy or unmotivated, but because they skipped the one step that actually creates lasting change. And we're starting with it today. If you have ever been the person who jumps straight into goal setting, vision boards, and manifestation techniques, and somehow it always seems to fall apart, it's not because you can't follow through. It's because you don't know your real starting point. And that is what we are talking about today in the first video of how to completely reset your life, the 7-part manifestation and goal setting series. So make sure you stay all the way until the end because you are about to learn the most important step in creating a life you cannot wait to wake up to. Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Nina Elise, and I am an embodiment and growth mentor and a somatic practitioner. I teach you how to view the world differently by understanding how your brain, your body, and your emotions actually work, so you can create the life that you want with clarity, alignment, and ease. If you want to learn how to intentionally create a life you love and truly deserve, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any videos in this series. All right, let's dive in. So before you set a single goal, before you write down any manifestations, and before you try to become this new version of you, you first have to get radically honest about where you are right now. And I know that is not the fun part, but it is the part that changes everything. Because every thought, every behavior, every pattern, every yes and every no that you have ever made has led you to right here. And before you spiral or judge yourself, just pause, take a breath, and give yourself some grace. You are not here to shame yourself for the past. You are here to take responsibility for the present so you can actually move forward. This is where your transformation really begins. Next, we are going to do some honest inventory. So grab a pen and paper and take notes, pausing when you need to. We're going to look at the 4 key areas together. The first one is emotional awareness. How do you actually feel day to day? Not just the curated version that's on social media. What actually feels heavy or draining? And where do you feel resentment or sadness? And when do you feel the most like yourself? Now, you may not know exactly what you want yet, but you do know how you want to feel. So if you currently feel anxious or overwhelmed or stuck or burnt out, then you know you want the opposite, right? So that becomes your initial direction. The second area is taking radical responsibility. This one is big. You have to acknowledge that you created the life that you are currently living. And it's not because you did something wrong, but it's simply because of your conditioning, your coping mechanisms, your nervous system, your beliefs, your inner child wounds. They were all just trying to keep you safe. And they did. So we're not judging them. But now we are choosing differently. We are saying, I'm here, I'm starting from scratch, I'm facing forward. So let's go. The third area is your nervous system baseline. This is the part that most people skip. If you set goals from a dysregulated nervous system, the moment something goes wrong, you will spiral, you will shut down, you'll fall back into old patterns. So here are a few questions that you can ask yourself. What triggers me? Where do I feel unsafe? Do I freeze, shut down, or lash out? Do I stress eat? Do I avoid everything? Do I overwork to cope? And then gently, very gently, ask yourself, what would a healthier response look like? This is simply about awareness, because awareness is what gives you choice. And lastly, taking inventory for different areas of your life. Your relationships, your money, your health, your career, and your hobbies. For each category, you are asking, what is working? What is not working? What feels misaligned? What do I desire instead? And who is the version of me that created the current results? And then my favorite part, what are the traits, characteristics, and mindset of the version of me who creates the results I actually want? And this is where the identity work begins. But we will go deeper into that later in the series. So let me give you an example from my own life. A few years ago, I went through what I can only describe as a complete dark night of the soul. I lost my job. I left a 6-year relationship. I had a devastating falling out with someone who was really close to me. And I gave almost everything I owned away. So basically, everything I owned was in the back of my car. And I moved in with my dad for a few months and was left with pretty much nothing except for myself. And during that time period, I had to sit with every decision I had ever made. I had to face every pattern, every ignored intuition, every way that I had abandoned myself, every way that I had mistreated others and manipulated them to get what I wanted. And honestly, that was the moment that I had to decide who I wanted to be moving forward, not to dwell or shame myself for who I had been, not for who people expected me to be, but who I chose to become. And that process, that reflection and honesty is exactly what led me to where I am now. Living in a home I absolutely love, a community I adore, a career that fulfills me, and a life that feels peaceful and aligned. And it all started with one thing: telling the truth about where and who I actually was. So, why does this matter and how does this create momentum? Awareness gives you power. When you stop pretending and hiding and you stop running from yourself, you finally have the clarity to take aligned action. And yes, it might feel uncomfortable at first, but that is where things start to move. And this is where your new life begins. Because when you know where you are, you finally know where to go. This is just the first video in a 7-part series that's going to completely expand what is possible for your life. And in the next video, I'm going to walk you through the exact imagination exercise that completely shifts your self-concept and expands what you believe is possible instantly. When that video is live, I will link it right here on the screen. And if you want to go deeper and actually embody this work, my one-on-one mentorship takes you step by step through emotional regulation, nervous system healing, subconscious rewiring, and basically just becoming the version of you who your goals are aligned with. You can learn more and apply at the link above right here on the screen and in the description. The next step is to watch video 2 of this series, and I'll link it right here as soon as it is available. Make sure to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the series. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.